Hello there, I'm Yang Rui. Many observers of China are trying to figure out what the future may hold for this rising economic power and its implications for the world. One important paradigm is to examine the values of the younger generation. China is said to be more open than Japan in the 1980s in many ways, and is subject to a greater impact of Western values and Western influence. But the centuries-old tradition and the culture of this ancient Eastern power mean that the new identity and orientation of the Chinese values are currently confronted with the task of their heritage and development when the Chinese society is undergoing very profound transformation. To take a closer look at the values and behavior of the young Chinese, we are pleased to be joined here by Mr. Wang Huiyao, Director of the China International Economic Cooperation Society, and Dr. Thomas Herdin, an assistant professor with the Salzburg University in Austria. Welcome to Dialogue, gentlemen. First of all, can you tell us briefly your personal feelings and evaluation of the values of the current younger generation in the Chinese society 3 decades after China decided to open itself up? Mr. Wang.
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting topic. As a matter of fact, China opened up almost 30 years ago, and I still remember the days that we went to school. That there's old-fashioned that you don't talk to the female classmate. You know, there's a division line on your desk, and people will all wear blue pants, and you know, girls have pigtails in the head. So you see this old style. But after 30 years, everything has changed. You know, there's a lot of new ideas. There's a lot of new lifestyles. There's a new thinking coming up. So the value has changed. Of course, all this has happened because of the market economy, because of the market reform. And of course, younger people nowadays, there's all kind of saying. You know, they are bobos, or they are lost generation, or they are the generation of new thinking or creative class. You know, you have a variety of brand on those young people.
And I believe this picture must have been reinforced by the omnipresent internet nowadays in the age of information. Now, Tom, what's your take about the values of the younger generation here in China after doing a survey about the behavior and values of young Chinese here in this country?
It's really puzzling. So as an European, if I come here, it's I really get dizzy because it's changed so much. When I came here the first time, it's a long time ago. I lived for 7 years in Southeast Asia, and I experienced the opening up in Indochina, but it's no comparison to here. So I see a lot of cultural surface synchronization. You don't feel anymore the differences because of the ICTs, information and communication technologies, about this global lifestyle. But the survey showed and the research showed that there are still differences. Even if it's on the surface, it looks quite the same now. And yes, this was what we tried to find out, and we found out it's a lot of achievement. You know, it's much more than you find in Europe.
What are the typical Asian values, Henry?
Yeah, well, to me, I mean, the Asian value, of course, there's a lot of dimensions, but most obvious for me, I think that people are looking in harmony, and the people respect the family, and respect the seniors and authority, and people are working, diligent, and also people are, of course, quite like to keep savings. For example, also there's a lot, you know, there's old traditional values of those.
But Tom, I wonder if you have noticed the profound change, particularly with regard to the perception of the younger generation about plurality or pluralism in their values. It seems that they prefer to have a greater diversity and greater variety of values instead of adhering to the traditional doctrines, classical indoctrination of, say, Marxism and communism. The new generation seem to be more flexible in choosing their own lifestyles and behavior. What do you think of the relationship between harmony, which indeed remains pretty strong and deep-rooted notion for the elder generation and for the Chinese leadership, and diversity as well as variety.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. What I found out is that they have this kind of both and philosophy, that they really can accept a little bit of this style, Western style, and still have these traditional values. But what I think it's the values is very deep in the unconsciousness. I think it's important to reflect what's going on. Where I've learned the most in my life when I was abroad, to reflect my own values, not to give up this. Sometimes it seems that they throw these their own values overboard and just accept these Western values because it looks more cool, like in a qualitative research, a student said. And I think this we should this should be redefined, reformulated, brought up in the discussion for the younger people, that they really know what they want, what they have from these kinds of values.
Henry, I wonder if you have followed the sweeping craze of Chinese supergirls, a national contest for selecting the best pop singers from teenagers, especially the females. That was a very dramatic and sensational newsmaking event last year. That reminds me of why young people nowadays are crazy about finding their own idols. On the one hand, the personality cult that we had, unfortunately, during the Cultural Revolution had disappeared with the end of the Cultural Revolution between 1966 and 76. On the other hand, the younger generation are looking for new idols, new examples to follow. Why do you think is this a new approach by the young people to fill in the vacuum of ideology and faith?
Yeah, I think that's true. What you have mentioned, the Supergirl phenomena is quite vivid, actually, happening last year and the year before, and also happening now. I mean, Superboy, they even have that now. And what I think is that the younger generation these days, probably you rightly put, there's a value vacuum for some extent possible, because in the old days we have some old the traditional values, and then for other people maybe they have Western values, but for younger generation, because of the Cultural Revolution for the 10 years, and also because of the class struggle theory for 30 years before that, including Cultural Revolution, there's no value. The traditional value has been diluted. There's no carry on of the Confucius value and also the traditional Chinese value. So these young people, they don't know what to take. There's a clash between East and West. There's a clash between the Confucius value and the Western market, the economy-driven values, and
contrarily and ironically, what we call the phenomena of supergirls might be the results of commercialization or excessive commercialization. It's what we call the man-made idol for the younger generation.
Yeah, that's true. There is a commercialization in every part of the world. Of course, in America they have a similar type of a Supergirl, American Idol, for example. But they are not causing such a big splash in America as they caused in China.
Because the American values are so diversified, it's hardly possible for all of the young people to look at the single television program at the same time, right?
Because I think traditionally China is also a value uniformed society, and so there's not much to pursue about. And then once something opened up, coupled with the internet, coupled with the mobile phone, coupled with the television, live broadcasting, that really technology has brought up the new fad and new trend.